Mike Familant here within the shadow of Big Red Eyes Squatchables. Squatchables is your one-stop shop for everything Bigfooting 101. We go over the basics of camping, hiking, and squatching, and hopefully that'll get you more comfortable with going outside and checking out what this amazing world has to offer you. Today we're going to be going over, very briefly, what to bring camping. And there's a couple different types of camping that will depend, and whatever type you're doing will depend on what you're able to bring or what you should bring. So let's define each type of camping. First there's backpacking, which is camping from one spot to another without establishing like a base camp. So basically you start at a certain point and each day you hike to a different location, and you carry everything in a backpack. And an example would be like the Appalachian Trail or the Pacific Crest Trail. Those are they're long trails of backpacking. But again, no established base camp, one point to another, and hike to a certain spot every day. Then you have backcountry camping, which is similar to backpacking, except you hike to a location and you stay at that location, and then for however long, and then hike back out. That would be a backpacking. These areas don't have any running water, no toilets, electricity, anything like that. And then you have front country, which is when you camp by your car. Front country would have access to toilets, water, normally, and your vehicle would be right there, so you can keep things in your vehicle and have access to that to drive to different locations or wherever you need to go back into town or for supplies or anything like that. And then you have car camping, which is the same as front country or back country, but your vehicle's right there. Alrighty, so those are the four types of camping that we normally do while bigfooting. So we're going to focus on front country car camping, because that's, if you're just getting into camping, that's normally what you would do, is have your vehicle right by you. So I'm going to grab this real quick. This is, and I suggest everybody that gets into bigfooting, I suggest that you get what we call a gold book. So this is our expedition gold book, and it has everything that could possibly be in here. Now, I don't expect anybody that's not filming a show to have anything this intensive, but it is good to keep all your information in one spot. So here I'll have camping permits, any extra things that I might need, extra paper, pens. Then the first section here I have a video release form, which is just for the show. We have everybody that's on the show has to sign and fill out one of these, and that's just for a release, whatever. So now we get into the actual gold book, and this is something that I would suggest that you guys do. I'm just going to go page by page and let you know what's on it. First page we have the pre-filming checklist, which you don't need to worry about if you're not filming a TV show. Our next one is again another pre-expedition checklist, and this is the one that's important. So I have everything that I need for a camping trip. So I'm just going to run down the list, and there's plenty of, if you Google like things to bring camping, you can find this all online, so I'm not going to get too far or too in-depth into it. I'm going to focus more on the bigfooting aspect of it, and the day pack aspect, because that's a very important thing. So for front country car camping, I always put my clothes in my backpacking bag, and this is here's my backpacking bag here, and this goes inside the tent with me at night, so that way I have all my clothes in one spot, and I don't have to worry about in the morning when I need to get dressed, running out to the vehicle and shuffling through clothes. Everything is right there. So when it comes to clothes, you want to bring a lot, especially if you're not hiking it in. If you're doing the front country thing. So obviously underwear, socks, you want to bring extra pairs of socks. Very important, because if you If they get wet, then it's going to be miserable. Bring a pair for like to sleep in, just keep them in your tent, don't even bring them outside. T-shirts, hiking pants, you don't want to hike in jeans because that gets kind of uncomfortable and depending on the weather kind of chafy. Shorts, sweatshirts, you want to get a nice down jacket if it gets chilly at night. Like a hat, you want sweats or night clothes, some sort of night clothes. Gloves, very important too, you want a rain jacket or poncho and some like rain pants. That's all pretty important basic stuff. I think you just want to be comfortable. That's the main thing is comfort, because if you're not comfortable, then it's going to be a miserable trip. So now I want to get into, that's the clothes aspect of it. And now I want to get into the day pack. And I want to show you exactly what I have in my day pack. But before we do that, all the time on me I have a knife, not just for protection, but survival knife. This is a really, it's a nice Gerber full blade. Like I said, protection, and you can do a lot of stuff with this knife. Everybody should have a very good, reliable knife when they go out hiking or squatching. The other thing is a paracord little bracelet thing. I believe there's 50 feet of paracord in here, and in an emergency you can just you just unravel it and boom, you have it. You probably paid way too much for this at the store, but you know what? I'd rather have this on my wrist in case I forget paracord or there's an emergency. I'm out hiking and I don't have access to it. This is, I mean, this could be a potential lifesaver, 100%. And then at camp too, I don't normally hike with this because it's a little heavy, but it's a nice Leatherman tool. Has a whole bunch of stuff. This is great for just to hang around camp, or put in with your clothes or something like that, just to have in case something breaks or you need to something you need to screw in or unscrew to get a battery out or something like that. Really awesome thing to have. So now we go into our day pack. We're going to start on the sides. So this side. Now your day pack is basically, you could also say survival pack. So, and when I say my day pack, I mean day pack and night pack. They're basically my hiking survival pack. You won't see me hiking without this. So, in the side pocket here, we have stainless steel cooking pot, and inside we have our evidence, a little bit of evidence kit if we need to, some extra gloves, some paper bags, and we also have an emergency blanket. You want to get 2 of these. You want to have at least 2 of these on you. The emergency blanket has many uses, especially like in a survival situation, keeps you warm. You can use it in the case of a wildfire. If you're caught in the middle of a wildfire, it's pretty much the only way to survive. So always, you need to definitely have one of them. You can invest in that for like $1. And then this, obviously, you cook in. You can heat up water, boil water if you need to. Purify your water. You can cook in here too. Make sure you rinse it out if you cook, so you don't attract any bears or raccoons or anything to your pack. Go in the next side. The next side over here, on the side, have an extra. We have just a bottle of water. Very simple. Comes in for 2 uses. You'll see in a second that I carry a Camelback in here as well. I always fill the Camelback up as a 2-liter backpack or 2-liter Camelback, but since it's in your pack, you don't know how much water you normally have left, unless you open it up and really, feel how much is in there or visually take a look, and that's time-consuming and annoying. So if you happen to run out, then you know at least, hey, I got 1 water bottle left to find water. This is also used for track casting, which in the same compartment, I have my Hydrocal, which I put, I divvy it up and put it in water bottles so it's easily carryable. 1 water bottle, it gets you a pretty good sized indentation track to be able to cast it for for it. If you need more, if there's multiple tracks, then you're gonna have to go back to your car to get it. But again, this is always on me just in case I'm really far from my car and there's a track that I want to cast. Always have it. And also, what you do is in that plastic bag, that Ziploc bag there, you can mix the hydrocal in. So, and that's a track casting episode. That's a different topic. Okay, so next I would show you my survival pouch, but I don't have it with me since I'm not out hiking or anything. I was actually restocking it. And you can find out everything that's located in there in the wilderness first aid aspect of this show. That's a whole nother animal that we don't have time to get into right now. So anyways, my camelback is in this back compartment along with my down jacket. Down jacket is very important. I always keep it in my day pack because it's light, and you might, if you get stranded, then it's always good to have with you. And it's a down jacket. It's what people use to stay warm at night, to survive with. Also in here is my little cooker. I'll show it to you. It's a MSR. I believe it's called a pocket rocket, and it's very, very simple piece of equipment. And then I also have in here a little propane thing. This will last you, depending on your altitude. This will last probably 20 to 30 full things of the container to boil water. So there's a lot in here. And you could definitely feel when it gets light and you need to know, you need to replace it. But basically what you do is you take the top off, screw this on, and you turn it on, you put a little flame to it, boom, you got a propane flame, and you can boil whatever you need onto it. If you can't have a fire, or you can't make a fire for some reason, this is a lifesaver. Really, seriously, is a lifesaver. So there's that. Also I keep this on my belt, but my flashlight. It's not huge, but it's bright as anything. Has different modes. There's different modes: high, medium, low. And then you could there's an SOS and a emergency mode on here too. So really good light. This is a Phoenix. I'm not positive of the actual. It's called a Phoenix PD35 Tactical, and like I said, this thing is, this is one of the best flashlights that I've ever had. It's expensive, but I'll tell you what, I'd rather be able to see if in an emergency if I needed to. Also, the really cool thing about it, it's a rechargeable battery, so you don't have to keep worrying about recharging these batteries constantly. You can also get a secondary battery, so in case it runs out on you, you can put that new one in and then go ahead and charge the other one. Along with lights, you have a headlamp. If you're into squatching, this is one of the better headlamps that I've ever owned before. It's called Nitro, I believe is the brand name. But this is a really good headlamp. It is bright as anything. Again, one of the brightest ones that I've had. But what's also cool about it, here's the high mode, the low mode. It has a green light. That's for tracking blood. Hunters use it to track blood. I guess it kind of shows up like almost ultraviolet. And then of course you have your red light, and that's used for night hikes and squatching and stuff like that. Also on my headlamp, we talked about this a couple times, is my voice recorder. I have it on, goes over my ear, just so whatever I hear, hopefully the voice recorder picks up. So that's in my day pack if it's during the day, or on me at night. So we're gonna just rally through this real quick. Hand warmers, good to have. You have some paracord, and this is all in my day pack. Evidence collection kit, we went over that, there's an episode on that. Tape measure, extra batteries for your headlamp or whatever needs to take batteries. I have another 2 emergency survival rescue blankets, so that's 3 in total. Very important, you want to grab a bandana. I gotta wash this. But always have a bandana. This is used to take your container off the fire, or I mean, there's so many uses. Bleeding control. If you have a hemorrhage, so many different things you can do with this. Even just if you start to overheat, dip it in some water, wring it out on your face. I mean, you want to get a bandana. Have 1 or 2. So here's some other survival emergency stuff. In a plastic bag, zipped, is birch bark, which is really dry. It's one of the easiest things in the woods that you can ignite. And then in that also is a full book of matches. So this is kind of like my emergency. My lighters don't work, I lost them. This is my like backup fire starting thing. Also very important is, especially if you're not car camping, but on a day hike is very important too, is a Sawyer Mini water filter. This is the one I use. There's a couple different ones out there. There's a Life Straw. I use the Sawyer Mini, it's very good. You fill up this little compartment with water from like a stream or preferably flowing water, not sitting water. And then what you do is simply you attach these guys on here, you press this bag, and then the clean water is filtered out. This thing is amazing. I've used it multiple times. I can't stress it enough. You can find one for I think like $20 or $30 at Walmart. Totally worth it. It lasts for quite some time. It filters out all the harmful bacteria, microorganisms that could be sitting in the water. And you know, for $30, if it saves your life, come on, there's no question about it. So it's a Sawyer Mini. There's different kinds out there. I also have some. People are going to think this is weird. These are cotton balls soaked in Vaseline. Which is also another really good fire starting technique. It's actually better, it's one of the best ones that I've used, because these, you soak them in Vaseline and put them in this bag prior to going out, and they will stay lit for quite some time, so they'll catch your tinder on fire, and your tinder, which then in return will start your fire. So that's great. It lasts longer than birch bark does. More hand warmers and stuff. And in here too, also, as you can see, everything relates to survival in here. We have our magnesium fire starter, which is a great tool to have. It's just it's a magnesium stick, and that's all you do. You do that a couple times over your bird's nest tinder bundle, and you have a fire. That's if the matches are wet, your lighters run out. Kind of like worst case scenario, almost, if you have to do like a bow drill or a hand drill. That's the worst case scenario, really. But this is, I mean, they're cheap too. I have 2 of them. I keep one in my pocket when I hike, and I loop it around my belt so I don't lose it, and then I keep one in my day pack as well. Let's see, I have another paracord bracelet. I have a pen, which is part of my evidence collection kit. Then I have this. I don't know why I bring this. This is just basically it's actually a backboard strap that I picked up from when I was working on the ambulance. But it's a strap that just basically connects itself together. I don't know why I carry this, but I do, because I think there could be a use for it. I know it could be used in some emergency wilderness first aid situations, if you need a sling or something like that. But it's orange. It's very good material. It's not going to rip. It's not going to break. I always have this. I don't know why. I just think it's good to have. It's kind of like a premonition thing. It's in the back of my mind, like if I take it out, I'm going to need it, type of thing. Okay, almost done here. Now we got off Deep Woods wipes. These are lighter than carrying a bottle. A full spray bottle around. They work just as well. During the winter time, you don't really need them too much, but summertime it's always great to have. It's that little comfort. Now the last and most important part of your day pack is your map. This is very, very important. Without this, this is the one piece of equipment that is going to save your life. Everything else in here is going to help you survive. This is going to save your life. Without this map, if you're in the deep woods, you have no idea where you are. Unless you're really good at tracking, which if you're just getting into hiking and bigfooting, I'd suggest you know how to navigate. But without a map, it's very difficult. It takes years to figure out how to do that. This is from the New York, New Jersey Trail Conference. They put out really good maps. Unfortunately, they're just for northern New Jersey and southern New York. But they do have other map books and stuff out there. What's really cool about these is they're waterproof. So, and they show, I mean, they're very in-depth when it comes to trails. And there's descriptions on them. It's really, I mean, I have the whole series, very great. I know National Geographic puts out some good maps. They're a little expensive. You just get a good map. Get one with all the trails on it. Don't get a road map. A road map's not going to help you in the woods. You want to get a trail map with a good legend on it, a good good distance and how far things are scaled. Anyways, so that's pretty much the extent of my day pack. We'll go over real quick if there's anything else that I think. Just in general, in your car, especially if you're front country car camping, I bring a canopy tent, I bring my cameras, my chargers, I bring a table to put stuff on if there's no picnic table there, tent with a rain fly, if you have a footprint for the tent, which goes underneath of it, stakes, your poles for the tent, very important. I always forget my stakes, so bring stakes if it's a freestanding tent, or a non-freestanding tent. Your ground pad, which you lay on, your sleeping bag, always always bring your warmest one. At least that's what I do. I'd rather be too warm at night than too cold. I can't sleep when I'm cold. I have a 40-degree sleeping bag, which I use all year round. Take the whatever temperature you think it's going to be, whatever it says on the forecast for that area, and minus 10 degrees, that's a good way to start deciding what sleeping bag to choose. Same way with a tent. I have a 3-season tent. It pretty much encompasses the whole year. I don't go camping in winter when it's below 32 because it's not fun for me. Bring a camp chair, one of those foldable ones. Always, it's better than sitting on a log. That'll get boring real quick and hurt. I like to fish. I bring my fishing poles, bring a tackle box. Make sure, depending on what state you go, you have to get a fishing license. You can get a visitor pass for the weekend. They're a little bit cheaper than normal. I would, always check in with that. Extra water. If you need cooler ice, if you're bringing some stuff you need to keep frozen, you want to eat it the first or second day, so the food, you want to bring them. If you do have something you don't eat the first day and it's hot out, you're going to have to go back into town and get more ice, so that's just something you got to think about. Get your day and night packs, hiking poles if you're going to go anywhere crazy. Some people love them, some people hate them. That's totally up to you. Bring camp shoes or water shoes, so that way you can hike all day, all night. You can change into something a little bit more comfortable when you're sitting around the fire. And if they need to dry off, you can put your hiking shoes by the fire and let them dry off. If you bring a tarp, it wouldn't hurt to bring a tarp just in case something happens. Your knife, machete, garbage bags, bring paper plates if you're going to eat something good. Food and snacks. If it's smelly, keep it in the car, hang a bear bag. And let's see, just to finish things up, that's my phone. Knives, paracord blade, bracelet, sunglasses, wallet, coffee. If you're bringing any tactical supplies when it comes to, hanging CDs or fireworks or anything like that, that's what you need. That's a basic intro to what you need and what you should bring camping. Again, there's a whole bunch of lists online that will go much more in depth. My recommendation to you is to get a good list, a solid list, pack everything on it, go out, and even if you don't camp, just go out and set everything up and see what you're missing. And then add that to the list, so next time you go out you have that, and it's much more, make it as comfortable as you can. It's going outside and camping is all about having fun and getting out of the house. It's about getting out of your comfort zone, but it shouldn't mean that you're uncomfortable. Comfortable camping is the way to go. Some people like to glamp and stay in these big trailers. Not for me. Some people like to go minimalist and just sleep out in a sleeping bag under the stars. They call that cowboy camping. Again, not for me. I don't like spiders. I like to just tent camp. That's my favorite thing to do pretty much in the world. So anyways, please subscribe to our channel, In the Shadow of Big Red Eye. Sussex County Bigfoot is our YouTube channel. Our Instagram is Shadow of Red Eye, and our Facebook page is In the Shadow of Big Red Eye. Try to say them 10 times quick. My name is Mike Familant, signing off. I hope you have a great night, and as always, please, please, please keep it squatchy. Thanks, guys.